Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Nikki Starr, and I am coming to you live from Los Angeles. And I'm actually outside on the balcony. So if you hear any dogs barking, know that that's where that's coming from in the canyon. So I'm going to be talking to you today about how to choose kindness, love, compassion every time. So it is so normal in our human experience to have situations happen with people. It's actually inevitable. It's inevitable that we are going to have some kind of friction or some kind of disagreement or whatever. It could be when you go to the store, it could be with someone you love, it could be a stranger, it can be a family member, it could be your lover, it could be your child. So every single moment there is an opportunity for connection or disharmony. So the way we come into greater connection and greater love and compassion is there's a few different ways. Is one, I always like to remember that people are doing their best. And if something happens, like let's say I've had, this happen all the time, and even with my clients too, like let's say if someone is unkind to you. They speak to you in a way that you don't appreciate. They're rude and curt. This can even happen in the grocery store. In that moment, you have two options. You have the option to take it personally and think like, oh, this person must not like me. That's the chime going. So we have some ambient sound in the background. But that's an opportunity where someone, you might feel like, okay, this person doesn't like me, and you take it personally and then you feel badly. Another option is you respond with the same energy and you're rude and curt. And so you kind of like go to meet them, that energy of like two wrongs don't make a right. And then there's another option, which is to choose to respond with kindness and compassion and love. And in the moment, it could be really hard, especially if you're triggered, because what I mean by triggered is you could either be reactive in the form of feeling sad, of feeling hurt, of feeling angry, and of being reactive. So you just like let that response or whatever they said to you really affect you, and then it changes your whole mood for the day, and then you're in a bad mood. And of course, we don't want that for you. We want your day to be great. So what I have found is it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel sad, and it doesn't mean you're not going to be angry about it. But if you just breathe into it and remember that everyone's doing their best in every moment, and that it's not personal, that it's like something's happening in their day, like maybe they don't love their job, or maybe they're feeling sad about something, so they take it out on you. You can just remember that. And then the way you can respond to transmute the energy and be the person to bring the light, the love, the kindness, and the compassion is to appreciate something about them in that moment. So for example, let's say you're at the grocery store and actually this happened. I went at a photo shoot in Malibu on Saturday, and we went to eat after, me and the photographer, and we arrived a bit before closing, and they were very curt with us, like, no, you can't use the bathroom. Okay, sure, fine, you can have the dessert too. And it was very rude, and I get it. We were compassionate. We're like, you know what? It's 4th of July weekend. They totally want to go home, understandable. So we could have been like nasty back to them. We were so nice, being like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And in that moment, we appreciated them. And we actually said, like, we really appreciate you, like, taking the time to let us place our order. Or I really appreciate, let's say if you're in the grocery store, I really appreciate you ringing up my things or packing up my groceries. Just take a moment of appreciation. And then another thing I have, and express it to them, like say, I appreciate this about you or this moment. And that softens the heart. And they're like, oh, it's sometimes hard to be mad when someone's kind to you, so you can choose to meet the energy like a bull, or you can choose to be kind and be like, thank you. Like, thank you so much for your help. And then another thing that I also really love to do is you can find a way to compliment them. So you might be like, I really love your shirt, or what beautiful eyes you have. Of course, all compliments, may they be genuine. But using these two techniques of meeting someone with appreciation or a compliment, because compliments are a form of appreciation in a sense, this can really help you come into loving compassion no matter what, as well as remembering that everyone is doing their best in every moment. And I actually go deeper into these topics in my Awaken Your Spiritual Power course. So if this is something that interests you and you're wanting to learn ways, I like to call them universal principles that really support you in having better ways of relating with all humans, all beings and things. Because that's like what the human experience is about. It's about like, how can we relate better and better every day, every interaction, so that we come into a greater space of harmony versus conflict and drama. And I feel that it does require you to lead that, because most people are not operating from that system. But guess what? You get to be the light worker leader to do that. And I so appreciate you tuning in today. And I trust this was helpful, that you can today, tomorrow, implement it into your life like ASAP. And I recommend that with any relationship, even if there's a current relationship where there's a little bit of a challenge. I highly recommend that you just meet it with like, hey, I really appreciate this about you, or hey, like you look great today, or whatever. And notice how that can help to start to soften the heart, because humans are social. I've talked about this before. We're social beings, we're social mammals. So generally our tendency is to match the energy of what we find in our lives. So may you be the force of light, of love, of joy, of happiness, of appreciation, of gratitude, and then other people will follow suit. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next week.